Welcome to Issues and Answers with Diane Kinderwater. Issues and Answers is presented as a public service to inform, educate, and better the lives of New Mexicans. And now, Issues and Answers with your host, Diane Kinderwater.
Welcome to the program. I'm Diane Kinderwater, and we're continuing with our series of inviting candidates for Mayor of Albuquerque here on Issues and Answers. And I thank KCHF TV for giving the candidates the time to do this. Actually, it's giving the public an opportunity to meet the candidates more than just a few minutes here on a radio program or a TV program, but actually a half hour to get to know them and to decide if you want them to lead our city. Now, my candidate today, who I'm going to introduce you to, is Eddie Varela. He's a longtime fire chief, not only here in Albuquerque as a deputy fire chief, but also in Barstow, California. 30-year career, and here in Albuquerque, he worked under 6 mayors. Who can say that? And now he wants to become mayor. He also was the president of the Firefighters Union. So please stay with us as we meet Eddie Varela right after this. What a treat, really, to get to know the men and women who want to serve us. I mean, that's pretty remarkable. We have a city here in Albuquerque, and of course there's elections throughout the whole state of New Mexico, not for governor, not for president, but again, a lot of municipal elections. And here we invited all the candidates. Those who accepted are going to be introduced to you, but it's really a delight to meet people who really want to make a difference. And a lot of people believe that a lot of change is needed because a lot of people feel, including me, Albuquerque is hurting. And Eddie Varela,
yes,
you are one of a number of candidates.
That's correct.
But you have worked under 6 mayors, and now you want to become mayor.
That's correct, Diane. I had a wonderful career in the Albuquerque Fire Department, and I was very involved in my group of guys. And there was a few girls, not many, but I was president of the Firefighters Union. And that put me in an environment of being in a political environment. And I did work under 6 different mayors.
That's incredible. Fantastic. And they often ask you, who is your favorite? I mean, 6 mayors, I don't even know if I can name them, but some go way back and some, of course, are current. And now you're facing one. Mayor Tim Keller is running again for his 3rd kind of unprecedented time wanting to be mayor, but you're challenging him.
That's correct.
And why is that?
Well, the reason I'm challenged is because of the state of our city. I was born and raised in Albuquerque, and it was quite a glorious place to live. It really was. It's a beautiful city. It still is. The mountains and the beauty of our city, and I've watched that deteriorate dramatically in the last 8 years, and instead of complain about it, I'm going to try to do something about it, and that's why I'm running.
You were born in Varela.
That's correct.
I grew up the heart of our city. Back then it was the heart. It continues to be, because of course we're growing west. It just looks different, doesn't it?
The whole city looks different.
I don't see even downtown any more building down there. I drive down there and I see a lot of closed up and broken windows, closed up storefronts. It's just disheartening.
It is, Diana, and it's not just downtown, the city, the hub as it's called. It's the whole town. I mean, there are very few pockets of our city that are not deteriorating.
Even driving here to the studio, I just saw it.
It is.
Why? Why did it happen, do you think, Eddie Varela?
Why the city has deteriorated?
Yeah.
It's very, very simple to me. A lack of leadership. Okay? And I can qualify that by saying this. I live in Taylor Ranch, and I do a lot of shopping in Rio Rancho. When I go to Rio Rancho, I don't see homeless. I see police officers all over the place. It's well known, don't speed in Rio Rancho, they'll get you. I see a city that's just growing in leaps and bounds. I see academic scores in Rio Rancho that were some of the best in the state. I see the athletic team, some of the best in the state. And I questioned why Rio Rancho is doing so well and we are not. And it's very simple. Leadership. We do not have the leadership, and I hope to provide that for our city.
What would you do differently? Again, I think you had mentioned to me a number of candidates and a number of people who are out there feel that it's the crime. I mean, that's changed our lives.
Yes, it has.
I know a lot of people won't go out at night. A lot of people say we have to look around at what gas station we're going to go to.
That's
so
correct.
we're not at cost. Can't even go to the supermarket without feeling
That's the state of our city. And when I decided I was going to run for mayor, this was 2.5 years ago, I thought, well, I know how you run for mayor. I've watched it many times. But I'm going to go out, I'm going to walk the streets of Albuquerque and talk to the small business people primarily. So I started in Wantabo, walking south. And within about 5 days, I realized what a dilemma our city is in to businesses. The boarded, the boarded windows, the defecation on the streets, the disaster that I see. And so I got more enthused all the time. And when I first started walking, I said, well, I better do a card. So I went home and I designed a card, and I didn't have anything for the back. And so on the back of the card, I put the 10 Commandments. And people say, why'd you do that? And I'll tell you why. When I would go into a business and say, hi, I'm Eddie Varela, I'm a retired firefighter, I would get their attention, but they're busy, very busy a lot of times. And I'd say, I know you're busy, I want to leave my card, and if you want to know who I am, just look at the back of the card. And it's astounded me how many people look at the back and say, hold on a minute, I want to talk to you.
Oh, then they had the time. After you put the
Yes.
10 Commandments on the back,
Yes.
they had the time.
They did, because
They took the time.
they're
They didn't
Christian.
have the time, they
That's
took
right.
the time.
And
Why?
the more I walked, the more people I met who believe in God and Christianity. And I realized that we have a Christian uprising in our city. And so I'll tell you what my thought was. Okay, we're going to have an election, and we have 4 groups of people. Okay, we have Republicans, we have Democrats, we have independents, and we have Christians. I would never have known that had I not walked the streets of Albuquerque. We have a Christian uprising in our city, and it's a good thing. And it's time that we all unite and take over our city and take over our country, actually. And after I've talked to 5,000 people now, 5,000 in the last 2.5 years, one-on-one, like we're speaking, Diane. And I know that everybody is ready to take over our city and make it what it used to be. But I also developed platforms, political platforms when I was walking. And the broken windows by the thousands, the damaged buildings by the thousands. And so I said, well, I have to address this. And here's what's really interesting. The number one issue to the 5,000 people I've talked to is the homeless. And crime came in second. And it astounded me. I thought, obviously, crime's first, but it wasn't. It was second. Of course, they're very closely related.
Well, then, let me get back to the 4 groups. Now, you say Christians, Independents, Democrats, and Republicans, but within the Republicans and the Democrats and Independents, there are Christians within those groups as well.
Yes, they are. But the Christian groups of people are not involved in politics, but they vote. And I have been in, many times people have asked me to their homes to pray with them and that. And I'm not a preacher. I just follow the rules. And it's carried me through my life. And so those people are out there, and I think they're going to make a difference. I talk to churches. Some churches want political involvement. Some don't want it at all. They're afraid. That's fine, too. But
they're afraid of what?
The tax exemption issue. They don't want to lose their tax exemption, which I don't think would ever in a million years. But that's okay.
Oh, well, you don't say that. You never know.
Well, you never know.
You never know.
But anyway, what became is the more I walked, the more I started thinking I have to find a way to solve these problems. And so now I have a platform for the homeless. We'll start with police first.
If we could start with the homeless,
Okay.
back to that.
Sure.
As Christians, the 5,000 you're talking to in the city, what are they empathetic to the homeless? Are they concerned about their well-being? Are they concerned about the veterans, the drug addicts? Or are they afraid? Or are they discouraged because they're a blight on our community?
All of the above. And I'll tell you, because when I realized I have a massive homeless problem, I have to study this problem. The word homeless is a catch-all for a lot of people. It's not appropriate because there's different levels of homeless. I make it a point once or twice a week to stop under the bridge at I-40 and 1st Street, and I buy a pack of cigarettes or 2. I don't smoke. And I've been criticized for doing this, but by giving away a cigarette or 2, they swarm around me and they tell me everything I need to know about the homeless. And it's very, very different than what most people think. I have 15% compassion for the people that are born that way. without limbs, or without the, the ability to care for themselves. But there's layers and layers.
But it seems like our government, in our tax, I shouldn't say our government, we the people have given money to our government to take care of people. We have.
We have, and it's
here,
not working.
especially in the city of Albuquerque, a lot of our tax dollars are going to the homeless, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars.
$200 million a year.
Oh.
That's what the number is. Okay, it's not working. Okay.
But I mean, you felt 15% were born that way and needed help. And I'm just saying, we have money. We have been giving help.
Yes, we have been, and we cannot sustain the amount of money that we're spending to care for the homeless because it's not working. So
it's not working. So why continue?
Well,
to do
50% of our homeless are not from Albuquerque. Okay, and 50% are not. The people that I talk to from the homeless, they all fit into a different level. There are homeless out there that they want to go home. They'll tell you, I want to go home. There's people out there that I talk to say, I don't want to work. I like my job. I like living on the streets. There's a very
What percentage do you think is that?
That don't want help?
Those are the ones I see in the street corners.
Yeah, 75%.
Oh.
They don't want help at all.
75, you feel, again, this is a survey that you've done, an unscientific survey, and 75% do not, but of those, they prefer that lifestyle?
Yes, they do.
It's that high.
It's that high, and I'd be more than happy to take you on a tour with me. Most people refuse my offer because they're afraid of them. You needn't be afraid of them. They just understand who they are. And the thing is that what gets me about the homeless is they just want to be left alone. That's their call. Leave us alone, And well, we can't leave you alone because you're causing economic deterioration of our city. So many businesses have gone out of business because of the homeless. So if they were just out there, but that's not what happens. They break windows. They're causing a lot of damage to our city.
I've mentioned other candidates on this program, and now to you as a firefighter. A friend of mine has a business on Coors near I-40, medical business, medical practice, and a homeless person set fire to her building that put her out of commission, so her patients could not get help. The doctors could not receive any salary, nor could they help their patients who needed help. And this just happened recently, and you hear about it all the time. And the fires, you must be more. I'm attuned because it's a friend of mine, but you must be attuned because you're a former firefighter, and you hear about all the fires.
Yeah,
not just in the Bosque, but you see it.
You see that V pattern on the wall. That's a fire. And it's against the law to do that, of course, And so this is my plan. All right, what we're going to do is day one, we're going to hire private sector security people who are going to, because we don't have enough police officers by far, and we'll talk about police in a minute. And they will be walking, not patrolling in a car. They'll be walking with the homeless like I do. They're going to get to know who they are. They're going to be wearing body cams, and they'll be carrying weapons. And they're not going to go out there and start, harassing homeless. But their job is to find out who they are, because we don't know. They will tell you, I don't have an ID. I lost it. It was stolen, whatever it is. And then also they're going to give me a gauge of who really wants help and who does not. And the ones that want help, we will help them.
Because we have the money to do it.
Oh, yeah.
We have the programs and there is the money.
There's plenty.
And what about those, that 75% that you believe is the number, who don't want help, but who are with their shopping baskets all over Central Avenue and right here in 4th Street?
That's right. This is what we're going to do, Diane. All of those, that 75% are pretty much guilty of a crime every day. Okay? What we're going to do is we're going to cite them. Once my private security tell me, we're going to cite them with actual citations, and it could be citations for starting fires or open drug use or, defecating. And those citations are going to go to a judge. The homeless person more than likely will not show up. So there'll be warrants issued for their arrests. And we will go back to those people, and we're going to give them an alternative. You want to go to jail, or would you like to go home? Because we're going to buy the ticket for you. And we're going to put them on transporting vehicles and send them home. And it sounds like a cruel and mean. It's not, because most of them want to go home.
Where's their home, California?
All over the country.
All over the country.
Yeah.
Why did 50%, why did they come here? You said 50% are from New Mexico. 10 years ago, I did not see homeless people from out of our city here in our city, on our streets? Why did they come here?
That's the best question you could ask, because that's the question my first question to them was, why are you here? 300 days of sunshine, okay?
Okay.
Everything free, okay? Homeless are eligible for Medicaid. They're eligible for welfare. They're eligible for food stamps. We have what's called soup kitchens, for lack, all over town.
All over
You
town.
know, there's food to eat.
A lot of nonprofits
Lots of nonprofits.
with our taxpayer dollars
That's
are
right.
going and doing the same thing.
That's
as
right.
Receiving
There's
free food and giving it out.
thousands of nonprofits, okay? And God bless them. But here, you know, I'm not going to continue acting like a hospital. The city of Albuquerque is not a hospital. We have wonderful hospitals. We have plenty of nonprofits, as you said, to help the homeless. We're going to get out of that business and let the people who are supposed to do it, do it. And we're going to get out because we should not be in the medical business. We're a city.
But they come here for the sunshine, and they come here for they can live on the street here.
Mm-hmm.
But they can live on the streets in California as well, and other states,
Yeah.
other Texas, they can live on the streets.
Well, when you talk to the homeless, one of the main things they like here is nobody hassles us. Hassle, you know, what does that mean, hassle? In other cities where I'm from, they bother us all the time. They don't leave us alone. In Albuquerque, they don't bother us at all. And it's interesting because that's my study of the homeless has told me why they're even here.
Because we're not, because we...
Nobody bothers them. No, the administration has a rule, you don't arrest homeless, leave them alone. So, you know, all you're doing is potentiating the problem, and it's a mess.
Now, how is the public, you're going and talking, going door to door, but again, hiring a, private security firm or people, when we feel we're already paying for our police, why can't they do it?
That is another excellent question. We only have 288 police officers in the field. The budget shows a total of 900, it's less than that, but only 288 are actually on the street. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute. There are not enough peace officers in the street to deal with the homeless. And so that's why, okay, we're going to save a fortune under my administration because I'm not putting in $200 million for homeless, I guarantee you that. And when I talk to you about my police program, my crime program, I'll explain why. But the police get blamed for a lot of things that's not really in their control. For instance, you never see a policeman. How come they don't take the homeless and get them out here? There are not enough of them. Just divide our city.
Well, can they even do it, though? I mean, are they even allowed to under this current administration?
No, they're not.
Okay.
Yeah,
so that's what people are asking you.
Yeah, I have heard that shoplifting, homeless, those kind of the things are not a priority.
Right.
And that's going to change.
We have, believe it or not, just a few minutes left. So get rolling.
Okay.
What else you'd like to share?
Let's talk about the police, okay, because it's kind of something I've been working. Okay, first thing we're going to do in the police
And
department.
did you work kind of closely with the police as
Oh, absolutely.
the fire chief?
Right next door. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
On
so you
calls.
had a good relationship,
Oh, yeah,
and
I
you
work
know
with
mayors and administrations working, again, for 6 different mayors.
Cops,
So-
I work with cops every call I went on,
Okay.
pretty much. We're going to institute a curfew on 18-year-olds and under immediately. And I'm going to call it an emergency curfew. We got 12, 14-year-olds killing people. That will stop. Okay. Then we're going to completely reorganize.
How does a curfew work?
11 o'clock, they will not be on the streets, period. And if they're caught in the streets, the parents will be involved. All right.
I haven't heard a candidate say a curfew.
Oh, we're going to do it, and it's going to happen for a day every morning.
Interesting, because a lot of parents obviously can't control their kids.
We're going to get this thing under control. I don't have to tell you about all the babies that are shooting people.
No.
And it happens all over town.
And I guess them getting guns, I just heard this recently at a radio program this morning, just how easy it is for them to get guns. And
well, we're going to address that too. But
okay, I'll be quiet. You keep talking.
Very violent young people, 11, 12, 14. Yeah. Remember the gentleman going to work on his bike, run down. Okay, that will stop. I promise you. We're going to reorganize the police department in its entirety from top to bottom. And what does that mean? Exactly. We're going to reorganize it and put people that are in the offices back out on the streets. And they say, well, who's going to reorganize? Because when I talk to cops, they say, well, who's going to reorganize? And I say, you are. The police officers, and we have good police officers. Don't be fooled by the bad publicity. That's a very small part of our department. They are going to help me reorganize their own department. Because when I talk to cops, they start telling me about the problems, we should do this. So ask the mayor. We're going to have massive meetings and find out exactly how we're going to deal
And
with
you're going to have
this.
a new police chief under your
Well, I'm
administration?
assuming Mr. Medina will leave the day I'm elected, okay?
Okay,
And yes,
okay.
we'll have a new police chief. And who's going to be that person? I do not know, but the police officer is going to tell me who that's going to be.
What kind of supports you have out in the community? Of course, we're taping this program in August, and
Mm-hmm.
the election is just around the corner, but it's an open field.
We have massive support from the community. We have the biggest volunteer group of all the candidates. And if you want to see us, go to Facebook or Eddie Varela. You'll see my volunteers so that you don't think I'm exaggerating.
Where do they find you, Eddie Varela, online?
EddieVarela.com.
EddieVarela.com.
Yeah, Eddie for Mayor, excuse me, Eddie Varela for Mayor. And we get a lot of people coming on board, and they don't even know me, but they want their city back.
How do you characterize yourself? I mean, you sound kind of like tough on crime.
I am.
Okay.
I am.
Follow the rules on crime. Follow the
I
10
was born on the
commandments crime.
streets. I worked the streets, and I understand crime, and I know how to deal with it. So if I may, I'd like to go on with the next
Yes.
level of the police department. We're going to start a new program in the high school. It's called Police ROTC. And what that means is that we're going to get juniors and seniors in the high school, boys and girls, to take a police program and get a certification. It'll be taught by retired police officers. And then when they graduate, they will be guaranteed a job with the police safety aides. Okay, guaranteed. And if I have more applicants than I do cars, we'll buy more cars. You know, we're going to get them out there. They'll work there until they're age 21, and then we will absorb them into the Albuquerque Police Department. And you know, they're young, but they'll have had 3 years of training behind them, and that helps.
Okay, we only have 5 minutes left. What other things do you want
One
to
other
touch upon?
thing, the last thing I want to talk about is a new concept that we've developed. It's going to be called police day work. Okay, what does that mean? What that means is that I'm going to recruit retired peace officers. And people say, well, they've already tried that. And I go, no, this is different. Any peace officer who was certified will be eligible to work a day shift at his choosing.
Yeah.
We're going to pay them very well. But it's not just going to be APD. It's going to be APD, state police, sheriff, fire marshals, U.S. Marshals, CIA. We have a plethora of retired cops in our town. You know why? 20-year retirement.
Yeah.
They're out there.
Retired, yeah, they're young.
Yeah, they're still young, you know, and so they will be able to call into our program.
And they'll still be able to receive this day salary plus the retirement.
Yeah, that's right.
On top of it.
And
That's a
they'll
lot.
get
That's
and
a
they'll
lot.
be able to work. And the bottom line on this program is this: I've interviewed 200 police officers, and they all tell me the key to crime is visibility, and they all say that. Because I said, well, okay, how do you stop crime? You know, visibility. And these gentlemen and women who come to work for us will be on the streets and only on the streets. And they will be patrolling our city and visible. And that will help us alleviate a lot of crime, especially when you tie that into other programs. And it's been received very well by police officers. They say, I would do that. Now, the wives, I don't know. That's a little different story. They're not too keen on it. But they'll say, I would do that. And so,
For a day of their choice?
Yeah, day of their choice, a nice paycheck, and they don't have to go to the office. All they got to do is go to the substation, get their assignment, and be on the street. We're going to redesign the police cars so they look like police cars. You know, at night you can't even tell they are police because that is a deterrent, you know. And we're going to do some really great things, like we're going to eliminate the art program. It's gone. You know, who puts a bus in the middle of the road? And,
It's dangerous.
You know, yeah.
It's dangerous for me, for people who aren't there too often. It's like, what? No, it is.
No, we're going to do some great things. We're going to work on improving our zoo to make it the best zoo in the United States. We have a great zoo.
Especially because of the cottonwood trees. It's a lovely,
It's a
lovely
beautiful
place
zoo.
to go.
And I'm going to allocate a lot more funds for our zoo because that's where the tourists go. And they go to Old Town, they go to the zoo, they come to Balloon Fiesta, and we have to capitalize on it. Not the negative that we are receiving all over the country.
What about tax increases? Would you pledge not to
no.
raise any taxes?
Not a chance. I'm not raising tax for anybody.
The budget has grown quite a bit.
Well, it didn't have to. I study the budget. I carry it with me in my car. I understand the budgets. I developed the budget for the fire department. I get it. And when I look to that budget, it's just filled with overspending. Filled.
What about the growth here? A lot of, with the construction workers, it's hard to get the permits and to
Thank
be
you for
customer
bringing
friendly.
that up. Oddly enough, maybe not oddly, in my journey through the cities, Code enforcement has been a huge thing that I have heard from people. It takes forever to get a permit. I can't get a permit. Somebody stole this and I put in a new ground wire. That will end because we will reorganize
What do you
code.
feel about rent control, freezing rents?
Well, right now in the city of Albuquerque, our rents are outrageous, but it seems to me that it's outrageous because at the corporate level, because apartments are like, they start at about $1,800. You know, I don't believe that government should get involved in setting rates for rent. And a lot of people may not agree with that, but there's other ways to address this issue, all right?
And what about immigrant-friendly?
Immigrant-friendly,
Sanctuary city.
migrant-friendly. We're not a sanctuary, so we're a migrant, which is one and the same. It's a play on words. I am going to demand, and I'll tell you today, that we have let the voters decide. I want a referendum, and I want it now, to let the voters decide if they want to be a sanctuary city or not, because they deserve to vote on this. I can assure you, I've heard it over and over in the streets, but it's time to let us decide. Not one politician. When Keller said, I'm not going to help ICE, he just cost the city $80 million, okay?
From federal, our tax dollars now
Yeah,
coming into the
yeah.
city. Correct.
Oddly enough, he
It's
was
tough.
just talking about that at another meeting.
Always.
$80 million we may lose.
Eddie Varela, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Hopefully you're reaching our audience and you'll maybe see them on the street as you're going door to door, already 5,000. Appreciate you giving your time to care about our city, your city,
Thank
our
you.
city.
Thank you for having me. I've had a good time, Diane. It's been a pleasure to meet you and talk with you. I am always available to anybody. Even if one person wants to meet with me, I'll do that.
Thank
God
you.
has blessed me to, I am retired. And so,
He's got the time, but maybe not for long. Thanks for watching the program and to the station for bringing you the candidates for mayor. Those who have accepted our invitation, you've met them. I'm Diane. Make it a great week. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Issues and Answers with your host Diane Kinderwater is presented as a public service to inform, educate, and better the lives of New Mexicans. To comment on today's program, email us at info@kchftv.org or call us at 505-345-1991. Join us again for Issues and Answers with Diane Kinderwater.